Hi folks, hi Sitcom 2 students. Okay, this is just a short video. I try to keep them short. Sending your diagrams. 4 people haven't sent them. 4 folks haven't sent them. My grading is heavily assignment delivered on time based. It's not based on how funny you are. It's nice if you are funny, but you can get an A in the course without being funny by putting everything in on time and just doing what the instructions ask faithfully. So send your assignments in because you got to get them in so you can catch up. Because I'm not going to slow down. I sort of slowed it down a little bit, but I don't want to do that anymore. There's a lot to do in this class. And as my dying old grandmother used to say, more morphine. It's a little joke. She said timeliness is next to gradeliness. She actually said that to me right before she signed away her estate to my brother. So anyways, I wanted to just see, I got a couple diagrams from some folks. I won't give the names. I just wanted to go over the diagramming. You got to bring the funny. I think almost everybody has that because that explains diagramming. That explains that you're to capitalize the verb. I said that in the original assignment. I said, look at bring the funny. That thing's chock full of diagrams. You capitalize the verb. You keep the sentences simple. You stay away from the passive. You don't say that she was, insulted by him. You say he insults her. You don't say that he felt bad when he entered the room. You say, Gloria hurt Jay's feelings by hitting him or undermining him in capital letters. It's all, the entire exercise is all about over and over and over identifying the action in the scene, or the actions in the scene, the affirmative actions, not anything passive, okay, and putting them in caps. It does 2 things. Well, it actually does 3 things overall. 1, it familiarizes you with the show, and we need to talk about these shows and their genres and their storylines. 2, it gets you to see action. Action is the heart of storytelling, and notice it and pick it out all the time, so you're not just looking at the surface. That's why I don't want you to say, they're at Greg's house, they're at Bill's house, they're at Janet's apartment. It doesn't really matter when it comes to the actions where the scene is set. Obviously, it matters where you set a scene when you write, but more importantly are the actions in the scene, because that's what tells you where the drama is. Again, if you haven't read Bring the Funny, then you're going to be a little lost. If you're new to this, if you didn't take Sitcom 1 with me, as I said a month ago, buy Bring the Funny immediately. Read it. It will take you maybe a weekend. It explains everything that was in the original information I sent you, that was in the original assignment. It also explains diagramming, which you're going to do a lot of. So you need to get Bring the Funny and do that if you haven't. Okay, so what did I say? I said first, it familiarizes you with the shows. Diagramming does. Secondly, it gets you used to picking out and recognizing and identifying action, which is a problem for many, many news and even experienced screenwriters. And thirdly, it trains you to remember to use action when you're writing, and you will write a lot in this class. Starting in a couple of weeks, you're going to write a lot. So you're going to need to remember to action up your scenes and your stories. Almost always they're not active enough. So I tell you this in advance. Okay, just looking at some of the diagrams, just to some people. Okay, so remember Broad City? I like Broad City. I think it's a funny show. I think those women are very, very clever. I just like the way I don't know how much is improv or how much is written, but they do have scripts. So we'll look at the scripts. We're looking at the pilot. So somebody wrote, let's see, in that very first scene, because you remember that was involved the vibrator, and the other woman is having sex with the guy when they're on video chat or face chat, whatever it is, one of the other. Somebody wrote, Evelyn invites Carly to go to a party, but Carly rejects the offer. Then she went on to Carly is working in a coffee place. Okay, right, that's fine. Those are both completely right, the inviting and the rejecting. And in caps, that's great. But don't forget the fact that somebody was having sex in the scene and somebody was angry or shocked to find that out. So you don't need to put, you could put, let's see, was it Carly? Yeah, Carly discovers Eve is having sex with her boyfriend or was hiding it. But it's much better and easier just to write Eve secretly has sex with her boyfriend, like has sex or makes love, whatever you want to write, whatever term you like. And you put the action of having sex is the capital word. And you could then put and hides it. What's dramatically important is that she's doing something that would upset her friend and she's hiding it from her. It's less important that the friend discovers it. Unless the friend is digging for it, then it's an action. Otherwise, it's just passive. She just happened to see it in the screen. That's not really the action. The action is the person hiding something from someone else and the fact that they're doing it when they know the other one wouldn't like them to. Okay, or it might freak her out. Okay, so focus on actions. Okay, somebody else wrote, Carly uses her vibrator. Evelyn dances in caps to music. Evelyn tells in caps Carly she's going to pay her for a ticket to see Nicki Minaj. Carly sees Lincoln's leg in the corner of the screen. Evelyn confirms they're having sex while on FaceTime. That's not bad. That's not terrible by any means. But I think having seen the scene, if you're writing it as the scene goes along, that's probably what you experienced. That's great. But having seen it, you probably want to go back and say, Eve hides the sex she's having. And then, apologizes or confirms or admits. Admits is a good word. Something like that, because that's the affirmative action that's underneath the scene, even though you don't discover it. So she's doing that from earlier in the scene, but the reader doesn't discover it. But when you get to the end of the scene, you got to notice, oh, so she was doing that all along. The actress knew that all along, that she'd be playing that action. Okay, so focus on the actions, even if you discover them later in the scene. Somebody else wrote, Evelyn and Carly video chat, and Evelyn invites Carly to a Nicki Minaj concert, but Carly denies, rejects. Okay, it's all fine. The webcam moves, revealing Evelyn was having sex with a man the whole time. Carly is disgusted. Okay, you don't need to say Carly's disgusted. That's passive. That's an emotion. We will actually chart emotions later in more sort of intense diagrams. Right now, we're all about affirmative action. So being disgusted is not an affirmative action. Okay, the webcam moves, revealing that Evelyn was having sex. That's pretty good, but I think you could just say Evelyn has sex with her boyfriend until it's revealed or whatever. Has sex with her boyfriend until Carly notices. I mean, Carly figuring it out is not really important because it's totally accidental and passive. She didn't do anything to make it happen. Does that make sense? There's no true rights or wrongs. I'm just kind of critiquing these so you get the idea. There's always multiple synonyms for the verbs you use. It's just about you sharpening your skills at noticing the action. Carly hides her new vibrator from Evelyn. I like that because she did do that. That's true. You could have put that in all of these. Evelyn tells Carly about a Nicki Minaj offers to pay for her. Carly sees Lincoln in the video and realizes him and Evelyn are having sex. Lincoln asks Evelyn if he can consider her his significant other. That's kind of like a parting joke, not a big dramatic action. So it doesn't cause it's just a parting joke. I still think the main thing is someone hiding the sex and then kind of getting upended. But great. Everybody who hasn't done a diagram, send me a diagram. It's all about verbs and actions that are consciously taken. And it's not about where they are and lots of little details. You can make these pretty short. You can write all of them under a page. Okay, so I'm putting a discussion group up. Now that you know the shows, those of you who've done the assignments, right, and the rest of you who are probably doing them right now because you're very conscientious, okay, I'm going to have a little discussion group where it's part of the assignment for next week that I'm about to post on Canvas. I'm about to post the assignment. I'm going to give you 2 more diagrams to write, one for Kimmy Schmidt and one for Superior Donuts. Superior Donuts, you're going to write a slightly different way. Kimmy Schmidt, you're going to write the same way you just wrote the last 2. Nothing different. Superior Donuts, you're going to add the words but and despite in every single sentence you write, only for Superior Donuts. Okay, and you're going to do it like this. Instead of saying Greg robs the jewelry store, you're going to put, this is comedy, right? You're going to put Greg robs in caps the jewelry store despite the fact that his gun has no bullets. You're going to put Janice criticizes in caps her girlfriend, but the girlfriend slaps her in caps, or but the girlfriend never hears her. That doesn't have to be in caps. In other words, you're going to put the obstacle of every one of these actions only for Superior Donuts, for that diagram, not for Kimmy Schmidt. So you're going to elongate the sentence to tell me what they were up against, right? Rocky battles Apollo Creed, but Apollo Creed wins in the end, right? So Rocky had an obstacle, but he didn't win, right? If you remember, Rocky does not win in the first Rocky. He wins in like almost all the rest. That's why the first one was the better movie. Anyways, so that's it. That's all I got to say. Hand your stuff in on time. Thank you for taking this class. Email me with any questions. Don't let a question fester. And don't email me I'm going to send things out to you, like general emails through Canvas for particular back and forths, like, hey, professor, can I ask you a question? You don't email me through Canvas. Go through depaulg@newschool.edu. That way I can just shoot it right back to you. There you go. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon. Whoops, I hit the wrong, two computers, I hit the wrong mouse.